alaikum to the 12 tribes that are scattered worldwide. We are not lost. We're scattered, and hey to the Gentiles that are following after Yah's righteousness. You are on another episode of Mocha Modesty. In today's podcast episode or modesty lesson, we're going to be talking about how vanity can kind of distort your perception of self. Also, it can damage your relationships and your life if you allow it to. So, how we overcome that is we surrender ourselves to Yah Most High and we live a righteous life. We do that by fleeing vanity, and that is what modesty lifestyle is. So, before we get started, definitely make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video, and let's get started. I hope y'all enjoy. Now, I want to first start off with talking about, fair use, as we are going to be talking a little bit about this clip I want to share with you all. I believe it is from the Break Beat, okay? And they did an episode on infidelity. And so many people, like when they think about infidelity, they don't think about the other things that tie into infidelity, like the other spirits and things that are, people deal with. And a lot of these things are spirits like lust, vanity, immorality. And they don't know that things like vanity invoke these type of spirits and can cause people to get into this activity, right? A lot of women think, in particular, not to say that men don't do this too, because I talked a little bit about men last week, where men kind of get into the same things of delusion and thinking that they can have more than what they need, okay, in life sometimes, okay, and what the reality is. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about how women do that today, because I do like to be balanced, but you can also apply this to men. We also will talk a little bit about how men get into these delusional states. So in a clip that I came across on Breakbeat, they did an episode called Infidelity. On the episode, there is a lady who she's discussing how she fell into infidelity. And one of the main things that I took away from her interview with the interviewer was that she was suffering from low self-esteem. And I'm going to tell y'all straight up and real, anytime that somebody has low self esteem and you are trying or attempting to date them or be in a relationship with them, you need to keep that in mind, because low self esteem breeds voids, and people that have voids are looking to fill those voids. And when they don't properly fill the void with the Most High Yah, who is the supreme ruler of all everything, they fall into sin a lot of the times, because they're looking for validation. They're looking for things to fill these voids. So a lot of people that deal with low self-esteem, to me, from my experience and what I've seen in the world, they fall into things like cheating to get and infidelity to get validation. And a lot of times this stuff gets revved up is due to vanity, covetousness, and those type of sins that go together. Now, this particular lady, I'm going to play the clip briefly. She was a married woman, and she had low self-esteem because she was a bigger lady. Now, the Most High graced her where he sent her a husband. The husband loved her for who she was as a person, the inner beauty aspect. And there are a lot of women who deal with low self-esteem because of covetousness and struggling with vanity, that they take that for granted. And you know how we know that these people take that for granted? Because women fall into the trap of vanity that was given to them by the fallen one Azazel, with makeup and cosmetics and things like that. Well, you probably are like, well, KBC, what do you mean that means that they're unsatisfied? The Most High, when He said He made His creations, He said He made them good, and it was perfection, and it was good in His eyes. So when a lot of times us as human beings, we are flawed individuals, and we are ungrateful, and we even do these things to the Creator. Okay, so what a lot of times, what do women do? The Most High bless them with eyebrows. What they do, they waxing them all off. They cutting them off and drawing them back on the way they want to. You'll have ladies who they'll have their own set of hair. Then what they do, they got to put somebody else DNA on top of that, because it's like they're trying to fill a void because they're not satisfied in the work, the perfect work and the perfect will that the Most High had for their life. Now this lady in particular, right? She had a husband that was fulfilled with her inner beauty. She was a bigger lady. Now, granted, the Most High don't want you to be unhealthy and obese and that thing. So I can understand her or overstand her wanting to improve her weight for health purposes. But that's not why this lady in this clip did this. She did this because she was dealing with low self esteem and vanity, wanting to be the it girl. She voiced this in this video, and I'm going to put the link to this video because I want y'all to see the whole 50 minutes of this foolishness. She wanted to be the it girl, and a lot of times with this social media stuff, people get into that. It's nothing wrong with being a goddess, because the Most High Yah, He has made us kings and priests, and as His children, the men are gods, the women are goddesses, okay? Because our Father is the supreme being, okay? We were made in His image, and so we are many. When it says gods, we are not the supreme ruler, but we are many G's. What that means is there's nothing with acknowledging that and walking upright and following after your Father and His instructions, and that is how you have power. And so when you're saying that you are a god or a goddess, it's acknowledgement that you get your power from your Father, who is king and supreme ruler, right? And so those demons know not to really come your way, because they know that you're being powered by the power source, okay? But a lot of these women get into this deity, goddess energy and all of that stuff they like to get into because they want to be worshipped, okay? We are the creations. We are to worship the creator, right? We don't get into worshiping other creations, and that's where people fall into the vanity trap. So this lady, she was looking for validation, and she was looking for worship of wanting to be a it girl, and it got her jammed up at the end of the day with this fool la la that she had going. It's one thing, like I said, of wanting to improve your health. It's one thing of wanting to feel good about yourself. It's nothing wrong with that. But when you're coveting things, it could cause you to lose touch with reality. You start getting into envy. You start wanting things that's not yours. Because also in the story, she found herself messing with a guy. Y'all fellas need to watch out for these women that get these little work husbands going, and ladies too. Y'all need to watch these men that get in with these work wives and all this foolishness that goes on with these people at this job. I have seen women just they lose touch with reality, and that is because women, we are designed with emotional hormones that was given to us by the Most High. Nothing wrong with that, but it's at a higher rate than men. So men could mess with a woman with no attachment and feel nothing, and a woman getting with a man and she will just run off in her mind that they're married and together. Honey, this is why it's important for women to really keep themselves until the time when that needs to be awakened, that activity of being married. I know it sounds old fashioned, but it's a way to protect your emotions, because this is how a lot of women also become in the mistress category, in the side chick category, because they let their imagination, vain imaginations, get them carried away. Okay, silly women laden with sin. This is how I would describe this lady. This lady, she is up here admitting that her husband was supportive of her. He was present. He was working to pay the bills. He was doing what he needed to do as a man. And I got a problem with any man sitting up there calling this lady's ex-husband a simp. Ain't nothing wrong with being a righteous man. But please understand, we live in a wicked world. We live in a wicked world that is full of temptation. And people being wicked should not get you off track of walking upright. If you a righteous woman, a man being a wicked man, that shouldn't take you off your path of righteousness, because you understand why we're here. You understand who the creator is. Vengeance belongs to him, not you or I. So even if a person is wicked, you understand that individual is a lost individual, and they're going to get what, to reap what you sow aspect. Because trust and believe, these people running around doing wickedness, baby, judgment is coming. And judgment is really moving real swift these days. Honey, the sun, moon, and the stars been asking the Most High, come on, Most High. You see these mankind doing all this wickedness? Let us show them that you the Most High. Come on, they pray, they literally prayed to the Most High. They begged the Most High to make a move. The Most High said, "No, I'm gonna get them a chance to repent, but judgment is gonna come for those who don't repent." So we have to keep this in mind. Like a lot of men are seeing these stories about women, or women are seeing these stories about men doing toxic stuff, and it's like we have to be in a healthy state of mind. People that are off mentally or that's wicked, they gonna do wicked and lawless things. I expect that. The Most High tell you not to trust nobody. You supposed to, you supposed to test these spirits out here. You test these spirits by the word of the Most High. You look at a person's character, what kind of moves they make. But I'm not going to just unhealthily just be like, oh, every man is this because of this, or every woman is this because a one trifling individual did some stuff. And the one thing I want to applaud about this lady is she did own up to what she did on this video. Because a lot of people wouldn't, I'm telling y'all, a lot of people, honey, they like to breeze past this sort of infidelity type of stuff, honey. They don't want to address it. They just want you to move past it. They ain't do nothing. And, they'll lie. They'll try to lie their way through. But the lady said, her conscience was eating her up. But literally, y'all, this vanity destroyed this lady's life because she was so delusional and so far gone of wanting that attention from being a smaller type of girl. Because in our society, they do boost, for a long time they was boosting skinny type of women in the fashion industry and stuff like that. But every man is different, and it was so crazy to me because it was like, ma'am, you already achieved being somebody's wife where they valued you for you. But after she got her cosmetic surgery, so she said in the video that she had got some sort of sleeve done, and it caused her to lose weight fast. And see, this is why I'm gonna tell y'all something straight up. This is why the Most High do not like giving people overnight success. Because what happens is when you don't build up the endurance and get fortified, you start being like these vain celebrities that you see, these falling stars. That's why they always laying on the ground with them stars on the ground. They trying to let y'all know. You take it for granted. And that's what happened. Because she wasn't working out in the gym, she started feeling herself. And a lot of women fall victim of this stuff where the makeup, the weave, and the plastic surgery and stuff like that, it gives them a false confidence that is not them, right? Like these people really wouldn't be looking at these people. I wouldn't say with all women, but like some women know that they would not be getting half the attention they was getting without the additives. Now there are some women that are very beautiful without the additives, but a lot of women get into that sorcery of adding those additives because they're wanting worship, and a lot of this stuff that is beauty type of ritualistic stuff comes from you know, deities, fallen deities or fallen ones that man chose to worship. Okay, and so now women replicate these things in you know, cosmetic practices today. And I think that this is what happened to this lady. This is how she ended up being a side piece to a married man as somebody's wife. Like, I mean, y'all need to watch this. Let me play the clip and then I'm going to just come back. But you know, I have to talk a little bit to be transformative. This is YouTube. So let me go ahead and play the clip.
Here's a story. You're married, have a kid, a happy home, and then you work on yourself, lose over 100 pounds, and become unrecognizable, both inside and out. You hang out more and ultimately step out on your marriage. There's hurt, pain, and a divorce. You live life with regret, but your story isn't finished.
What I thought at the time was love, I had never felt that before, ever. I have never felt so more desired in my life.
Right, pay attention, y'all, because she's talking about the void, how she never felt so desired in her life, right? Because the high that people get from infidelity is like a euphoria to them. It's like it's a thrill because it's a secret. They feel like it's an ego boost, right? Because her whole goal was she had low self esteem because she was a bigger girl. I think she was like 300 and something pounds. And you notice as the pictures, as she started to slim down, her butt is facing the camera. Y'all know the women with the weave, how they all be playing in the weave. Um, the seductive pose with the makeup on, how she, you know, is leaning to the camera, the shorter fitting outfits, the more sheer outfits. This is what she started getting into on her quest for validation. And this is why I said, like, pay attention to these things because they turn into bigger issues when you get in relationships with these people. I'll use this for an example about men. Men that are melanated that you see where they're always online on Instagram looking at the mixed type of girls, looking at other non-melanated women. Do not date those melanated men. Do not date those melanated men because their low self-esteem and self-identity, they crave and they're looking for validation from other nations of people outside of themselves. So it's kind of like a self-hate there, to where even if they're in a relationship with somebody, they're still going to be looking for validation in those other areas. That's an example on the male side. But men, when you have women where they always talking about, oh, they don't, you know, they don't feel like they look good, run the other direction. I'm telling you, until that woman go and get some counseling and deliverance from the Most High, she gonna be a problem.
How was your marriage? Was this like a tumultuous relationship that you had? If you could give me just like a little backstory about like how the dynamic of the relationship was.
So we met when I was about 19. And he became my best friend. We decided to get married a few years later. We got married very young. I was about 23 at the time. Got married very young, and he was amazing. He was a great provider. He was a good friend, and things were good. We had a baby. Things were good until they weren't.
And why weren't they?
Well, before when we met, I was 130 pounds heavier. So I lost 130 pounds and kind of lost my mind. so to speak.
But you lost 130 pounds in the relationship?
In the relationship. When we got married, I was 320 pounds at my heaviest. And yeah, lost the weight and kind of went south.
Was this the first time that you ever been slimmer and like?
Yes.
Okay, so she's admitting that before she was kind of a little bit more on the humble due to how she was looking prior. Then when she started losing the weight, she then getting into the sense of vanity, because it's a spirit behind that. She started getting very lusty and trying to show off her new body. I'll never forget, I had a friend coming up. She was a young lady who her chest size was an A cup, and she always coveted the attention that women with larger chest size got from men. And what a lot of women who they covet the attention that women that have, like, I guess larger, I would say, you know, a larger peach or a larger chest, they don't really have the overstanding that that attention all the time sometimes is annoying. Like, ladies who are curvier, you understand what a person is talking about if you've had curves your whole life. That can sometimes be annoying because you know, you don't want people objectifying you all the time. You want people to take you serious as a person. And this is, you know, this is where the modesty comes in, where you dress classier, where it causes a man's attention to be you and not necessarily your assets off the top. But women who they may not have had that, they covet that so bad because they may in their spirit or their self feel low self-esteem from feeling like they got looked over, when you're not really missing out on anything. It's a protection, because people are now, when they come across you, they're seeing you for you and not sensualism. If y'all digging what I'm saying, leave it in the comment section. But you know, this is some of the women who they run to get those plastic surgeries and they don't do the research behind it on the upkeep and that stuff, and then they end up with stuff going on. But you heard her say that she lost her mind and started getting beside herself.
Yeah.
Do you think that he felt that when he looked at you?
I think that he felt betrayal. How could you do this and I met you at this weight? How could you lose this weight and just totally change when I met you at this weight?
You think that he felt betrayal?
I think that he did, because he supported me. He was there for me when I was 320 pounds. But then when I lost the weight, I was different. My behaviors were different.
What do you mean?
I dressed differently. I wore more fitting clothes. I started to go out a lot more with my girlfriends, more than ever. I started getting a lot of attention, a lot more attention from men, and I didn't know how to handle it.
All right, so y'all, I want y'all to go over and watch the rest of the video, but I'm gonna conclude. I just wanted y'all to hear that she cheated on her husband because of her new appearance, and she was thirsting after the attention, the false attention, because the reality is, if you're a woman and you start to try to wear form-fitting clothes and you're showing off your assets and stuff, you're not legitimately getting attention. What you're getting is men wanting to take you to that room. That is what you're getting, like all reality. And they're there for a good time, not a long time. And she found out about the good time and not a long time thing. So basically what happens to her is, you know, she slimmed down with the, you know, the cosmetic little surgery she got. She started showing out, going out, getting beside herself. And I don't know why the husband ain't bring the reins in at the top. This is the type of stuff you have to start looking at with women from the top, and having these conversations about what you want out of a wife. If you know this home girl is a party girl and she for the good time, then it's probably a no for the marriage and relationship aspect piece. Or if you start noticing that a male or female, your husband or your wife, they're starting to do different things where they're starting to care a little bit more about their appearance than they used to. They starting to try to be especially these folks that's older, because they tend to get into this delusion. And I'll give y'all an example. Remy Ma, who is married with a child, and she still walks around in these cat suits and things trying to be a thotty yachty. It's just some stuff you just way too old for at a certain point. It's just, you gotta class it up at some point. You know what I'm saying? Or sometimes men who they wanna compete with the young dudes for the young females or the young women, shall I say. And it's just some stuff you gotta know when to throw the towel in. Gatorade, throw the towel in. Like, you're not competing with a young group of people in their age class. Like, you've had your time. You need to get into your own age, your age class. It's kind of like when Irv Gotti was up there talking about how the young woman that he was dating wanted him for the money or whatever. And it's like, Irv, come on now. Look at the age that you're at. Like, the reality is, for a lot of these people, male or female, is they're not in touch with reality. This is due to vanity and idolatry. So she wanted to the worship and the validation of the attention, and did not know how to handle it once she got it and got played. That's what happened to the lady. So she got a little work boo. Mind you, she's married. And she started catching feelings for something that was a friends with benefits type of situation. And basically, how the enemy does when he tempts you, once you destroy all your stuff and the enemy has succeeded in the person destroying their marriage and their stuff, and people is losing all of their stuff, then that's when the person or the agent that was sent your way, they dip out and they just go about their business, and then you sitting there looking like Boo Boo the Fool after it all. So after she did all that, getting the surgery and all that, wearing the outfits and doing the flings and all that, meeting up with Buddy at the Telly-Tell, and Buddy told her, ma'am, you knew what it was. You was a chick on the list. She came to find out that she was one of many women that the dude was messing with. And that's what happens when you fall into temptation. And her husband moved on in life with somebody that was deserving of him. So it's kind of like you gotta be careful what you wishing for. And Grandfather Solomon talks about this in the Torah, when he gives the wisdom of not really wanting all of this vain stuff, because at the end of the day it profits you nothing. It's like, what good is it to gain the world and lose your soul? Okay, so you getting a bunch of attention, but are those relationships really getting you anything? Like, look at the women who, yeah, they're beautiful, they get a lot of attention from guys wanting to bed them, but they're not getting anybody to stay or to take them seriously. And that's not to say that every beautiful woman is non-classy and they're just betting every single guy, because a lot of guys is just jealous that there are some women who are very attractive, and being attractive, it comes with you getting attention. Now, you have to be surrendered and submitted to the Most High so that you can know how to navigate that. But also, in addition to that, shall I say, the Most High being your father, he will sometimes, with a lot of young ladies that are very beautiful, he will hide you purposely so that men kind of, you'll be in your little, I would say the ugly duckling stage for a little longer. He'll try to hide you and kind of like, have you veiled a little bit until it's time for you to blossom. A lot of y'all are not in y'all blossom stage yet because it's not time for y'all to be in y'all blossom stage yet. And I gotta say that for the young ladies that's coming across the channel, where you're thinking that you're missing out, is nothing in the street. Even the men, It's nothing in the street for y'all. But either you're going on to the glory fast, or you're just messing up stuff in your life trying to get all this vain attention and trying to get into idolatry and competition with the next person. You got to be focused and rooted and grounded on the things of Yah. Because this is the end result of this. This lady had a man who loves her for her at 300 pounds, bro. 300 pounds. Right? And he was coming home every night. What more like how Tyrese said, what more did you want from me? What more did she need? Only to find out that in the street, she was going to be a side piece. Like, I don't know what she was looking for, but I know that at the end of the day, and I can tell you what it was. Vanity and all that, like I tell y'all, when y'all see some of these women, when they get possessed by this stuff, they start not thinking clearly. This is why the Most High say, be meek and shamefaced and in sobriety. Because when you don't have all that stuff on, you're in sobriety. Men, this is why modesty goes as a lifestyle for y'all. Because when you're in sobriety and not thinking with your lower self, if you know what I'm saying, you're able to think clearly. You're not ending up with people that you don't want to end up with for the rest of life. You know what I'm saying? You're not ending up as baby mama number 5 to somebody. You're not ending up in these situations where you don't have clarity because you're in a sober state. I'm out of here, y'all. I want y'all to go check out this video and y'all tell me y'all thoughts on women or men who lose their relationships to vanity. Y'all let me know, are they taking this vanity thing too far? I'm out.